Coming next in the Scale Builders Guild merch shop, captain's hats. Welcome to the Scale Builders Guild. Thanks again for watching. It's episode 58 of What's on the Bench Weekly. And if you are not familiar with this show, it's where I take you through projects that I'm working on. Some in progress, some complete. And of course, if you like this show, you can do all the things. First on the bench today, also Shippy. What a great name. Rebecca, I can credit with coming up with this name, and then it was also referenced a few times on live stream. So here it is. This is the M-Jet jet boat. Wish I knew what it was properly called. I look it up. I've looked at the manual a billion times. I can't remember what it's called. But this is from M-Jet. You can purchase this file to print your own jet boat. This is available on CG Trader. That's where I picked it up. I'll be sure to put a link down below in case you want to build one, because you probably will. This is very fun, and it was an excellent, easy project. This did not require a lot of effort, especially considering the Bamboo Labs X1 Carbon printed this whole thing in probably 10 hours total. All the parts that you see here, and it's not just what's on the inside, it's everything. This whole part, both parts of the hull, all the parts for the actual jet part, all printed on the Bamboo Labs X1 Carbon, which is an excellent 3D printer. I highly recommend it. There are links down below. Please help support this channel by clicking those links and buying from those links, because then you help me help you watch videos. Anyway, yeah, also Shippy. It is I think they recommend 4S. I think M-Jet recommends 4S. I'll probably start on 3S because you know me and curbs. If there's a curb out there on the river, I'll find it. But I've always kind of wanted to try a jet boat. I do have a propeller style 6S boat that I have yet to run, but maybe this is the time to do it. This has been a very rewarding project, and it just looks amazing. I'm really quite happy with it. All the decals were done on my Cricut. I wanted to reference the fact that Shippy is no longer with us, and I thought this was the best way to do it. So, skull and crossbones. It's also a very nautical theme, isn't it? Pirates and whatnot. Anyway, let me show you the inside, because this is only a part of the boat, but if we remove this top, which is just a PETG panel with a recess in it for a very handy gasket that has already been applied to the inside here. It's just nitro fuel tubing, but perfect fit for that. You can see that there is a motor and an ESC and a conformal coated Reefs 179 Smart Micro Servo, which handles all of the steering duty. My receiver is in a balloon right over there, and this thing is water cooled. The impeller sucks water in through this tube, cools the motor jacket out through here into the ESC, and then back out the back of the boat, as sort of intended. I picked up this ESC on Amazon as per K-Pop's recommendation. Now, all of these parts can be had quite easily on Amazon. The only thing I had to do outside of printing was cut and shape a 4mm steel shaft. That was it. That was the only difficult part, and that part wasn't very difficult. If you have a file and a vise, that's all you need. And well, you need a ruler and a saw. But other than that, that's all you need. I've got a 3S battery loaded up in there, and I'm going to toss it in the tub to make sure it is watertight. We'll give it a little test run inside, because it's pouring right now. The only modifications, this little jet piece here to cover the rear of the jet, and I printed out the stand. Both of these mods are included in the file package, so you really literally have everything you could need to make your own jet boat, and I am really, really excited about this. I think it's going to be an absolute blast. So there you go. Also shippy. Next to another, well, this is dippy, but you know. Yeah. On to the next thing. Speaking of dippy, here he is. I'm going to take it out for its maiden this weekend. Probably even maybe today, if you're watching this on Friday, which you are, because there were too many videos yesterday. So we had to preempt this video for those videos. But this Friday, now, I am outside driving this Beetle. I only made one change since the last video, and that was taking someone's advice and doing the thing that I had done on my Marlin, which is using grub screws instead of actual screws to keep the body affixed. And it's just a friction fit. You just kind of like lift it off, and then the holes are big enough to sort of accept that grub screw, and it stays on there real darn good. So yeah, that's it. That was the only change. Actually, maybe, did I have the fuel can? Did I have the jerry can in there? I think I did. I don't know. Anyway, all ready to go. Very excited about its maiden run, and man, I love Dippy. It looks great. This was a really fun kit to put together. So if you haven't, I highly recommend you pick up either the files and the chassis, or the parts and the chassis. Put a link down below so you can check that out. On to the next thing. I'm sure you remember this. It's the Boom Racing Land Rover Series III. And you're like, what's different? It looks exactly the same, idiot. Well, I made a slight modification, and that was adding the roof. But I didn't add the roof in the traditional way. Now this top, usually, you would add the full-size, door that has the full frame around the top of the window. But I didn't want to do that because I wanted to have the versatility of perhaps running it without the top, running it with the top, and the quickest way to do that was to ruin the other set of doors and actually have it attached to the actual roof. Now I've done this as a magnet mount, so it does still stay on there quite well, but this allows me to have the flexibility to run it in two different ways. And I thought I was pretty smart for doing that. Kudos to me. But the real reason that I've decided to add the top is that I liked tan paint, and I wanted to use some. No, I've got the Scale Garage System rear rack coming for this, so I needed to put the roof on there so it looked accurate. There's still going to be a ton of paint work coming because Marcin, who owns Scale Garage System, he did such an amazing job on his with the whole expedition style theme on his Land Rover, and I need to do something similar. I've got a really good idea in mind. The main paint stays, but we'll be adding a bunch of masking to create a whole new livery for this truck, and I'm very excited about that. I thought this was a nice kind of solution. From a distance, you can't really tell that this is not the proper way a door would work. Usually this frame would not stay attached. But I was like, you know what, this is a good compromise and allows me to kind of work with it in this way. So once that rack shows up, obviously there will be another update or two. We'll get all the paint done and weather it, and then it'll be finally wrapped up. Oh, I almost forgot. In the front here, a nice man made a motor cover. Look at that, a nice little Land Rover, whatever series of motor this would have been. It's from Quentin Farsi, QFRCY on Instagram. I'll put a link down below if you want to check him out and maybe contact him and see if he'll let you know where these files are going to be at. But that just slides right over the motor cover and plops itself quite nicely in there, and kind of finishes out the interior a little bit of the engine bay, which is pretty nice. Have not run this yet because technically it's not finished. Once that rack gets put on there, we'll be sure to shoot some nice looking video of it. It won't be this Friday. There's a lot more to do on this one. All right, next one. It wouldn't be the Scale Builders Guild if I didn't do something stupid or useless. And this is the best iteration of both of those things that I could come up with. Another Boom Racing chassis. This is the BRX02 again, leaf sprung, with tracks on a Land Cruiser body. This is one of the MFAB or Manitou Lou SLA nylon sintered bodies that he offers. This is the Land Cruiser 79 series, I believe. A more modern interpretation of a Land Cruiser, but a very nice one nonetheless. These tracks are from AliExpress and they bolted up absolutely perfectly. The only problem with these, and I'll try to demonstrate that here quickly without ruining things. Very nice bodies. I love the process of building these. They are pretty intense. Lots of 3D printed parts, SLA and FDM to put it all together. But once it's together, it's pretty solid. I'll be backing all of these joints with a little JB Weld probably for plastic. One of the things that these tracks have, because they are universal, they're meant for pretty much anything that has a 12mm hex. The problem is that they can rotate all the way around. And trust me, you don't want that when you're driving this on the trail. You could seriously damage things. So we're going to create some sort of retaining bar that prevents that from happening. And there's a little metal piece on the back of these tracks. It's not very easy to see, but there is elements there that will allow me to build something that will prevent that from happening. That's like track wrap, and I'm pretty sure you don't want that. Anyway, this is going to be a very fun build. Long-term build, hope to have it done before the snow falls, but who knows? It gets kind of busy around here. And I am going away soon. Okay, so there you go. That's that one. I think that's going to be a really fun build. It does exist in real life. It's not like I just made this up. I found a reference of a New South Wales, Australia ambulance that had tracks on it, and it was an actual Land Cruiser Troopy, which is obviously more suited to be an ambulance. I figured this one could be a support ambulance or like a supervisor truck. Yeah, let's go with that. Okay, on to the next thing. I've done work with you guys in the past, and I'll be sure to do work again in the future.
Okay, that is great to hear.
Thank you. Take care. Bye. It was about 5 panel hats. Okay, next on the bench. This I'm very excited about. I've kind of gone off the deep end with drifting, and I absolutely fell in love with this body. This is the Pandora RC from Japan. This body is a recreation of a raw welt Begriff RWB Porsche, and I'm so excited about this. Nakai-san, who is the father of all the RWB Porsches, licensed this and has allowed them to make what I think is a very nice, faithful recreation of the wide-body Porsche. I think it looks absolutely stunning, and I'm so happy about this. In fact, I'm doing an entire build video just on this car because there is so many pieces and it's so involved. And I don't even know what happened to some of the, where are those? Oh yeah. You get the body, and it's already a wide body kit, so it's already got the fender flares and everything, but it includes this beautiful resin printed rear wing, which is a nice accurate representation of what's on the actual cars. It's pretty amazing. The bumpers, like all of the lower fascia, that's all separate from the body, so those have to be glued on. You also get a full engine bay, which is pretty amazing. That gets glued into the back there. There are a ton of details, even a dashboard and a steering wheel and all the decals for that. License plates that are also resin printed. They look phenomenal. Really, really good stuff. Light buckets, the works. There's also a sticker sheet that's included with the body, so you can make it look like an actual RWB, which is fantastic. The only downside to this body is that they don't really give you actual masks. They give you a PDF and a sheet of masking tape to make those window masks and everything else, so I'll be doing that at some point. It's a very involved build for a Lexan body, but I'm really, really excited about the prospect of having an RWB. I'll never own a real one unless I win the lottery. Definitely had to widen out the stance in the rear. Luckily, I have some custom offset wheels. You can change the offset, and I think I got pretty close on that. The wheelbase says that it's like a 250. And the Yokomo YD2S that I have here really only goes down to about a 253, 255 at the minimum. So, you know, I'm about as close as I can get. I think I'll widen out the rear of this fender, and then it should look pretty good. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. It's so rad. I love the whole idea behind this vehicle. And I love that there are people who absolutely love them and people who absolutely hate them. I am definitely one of the people who love them. And I just think it's such a unique look for such a awesome car. So let me know down below if you are a lover or a hater. That's all I need. One word. Put a comment down below. You know I love reading through your feedback. And I try to answer as many of them as I can. Rebecca answers a lot of them too. But she just gets me. So there you go. That's where we're at with What's on the Bench, episode 58. Lots of things on the go, as per usual, including, and I didn't even talk about this, but the whole SCX24 Power Wagon and trailer came out yesterday, Thursday, and I've got some pretty big ideas for what I want to do with that trailer, so I hope you will stick around. Lots more fun stuff happening. Thanks so much for watching. See you again next week.